Everyone in Umudike feared Chikamso's tongue more than sharpened cutlass, until one quiet boy walked into the village and silenced her without saying much at all. Once upon a time, in the quiet village of Umudike, there lived a girl named Chikamso. Now, Chikamso was not like other girls in the village. She was beautiful, yes, with glowing brown skin, white eyes, and full cheeks that made even the elders say, this one will trouble men one day. But it wasn't her beauty that made her famous, no, it was her mouth. Chikamso talked too much, not just ordinary talking. She talked when she was supposed to be quiet. She talked when it was not her business. She talked about people, about their secrets, their clothes, their children, their husbands, their goats, their cooking, everything. They called her Onu Akirika, the moving mouth. She could speak like a river that never dried. She could insult someone from morning till night without repeating herself. If someone annoyed her, she would stand in the middle of the village square and shout their whole life history for everyone to hear. Even the village elders had given up correcting her. She is just a child, they said at first. She will change, they later hoped. But Chikamso only got worse. As she grew into a young woman, her mouth grew even sharper. One day, an old woman named Mama Ejime came to the market to sell her yams. Her wrapper was a bit torn at the edges, and she forgot to fix her hair. Chikamso passed by, saw her, and shouted loud enough for everyone to hear. Mama Ejime, haha, you are looking like an abandoned masquerade today. Who poured water on your head this morning? People burst into laughter. The whole poor woman turned away in shame. Nobody said anything to Chikamso. They were afraid of her tongue. But word was spreading. People were getting tired. The laughter was turning into quiet anger. At home, Chikamso's parents were worried. Her father, Paokeke, was a proud farmer. He had trained all his children with the sweat of his back, but Chikamso gave him constant headache. Her mother, Mama Neka, cried often. Why won't you keep quiet, Chika? Must you speak every time? Every day it's insult this, gossip that. Why can't you be like your sister, Uneka? But Chikamso would just ease and reply, so I should close my mouth and let people misbehave. I beg, this village needs someone to speak the truth. Truth? What she called truth was sometimes plain wickedness. One time, she mocked a girl who lost her mother. Another time, she insulted a boy for having a stammer. And one time, when the village priest's son walked past her with a torn sandal, she shouted, Prophet's son with prophet's poverty. People said she needed deliverance. Some said she needed a beating. But no one dared. Her mouth was poison. She could make anyone feel small. Suitors came at first. Of course she was beautiful. But after just one meeting, they will vanish like a harmattan mist. One man from Obioma village ran away after Chikamso asked him, Why do you smell like palm kernel oil? Is that your natural odor? Another man stopped talking to her after she laughed at his mother's voice. By the age of 23, Chikamso was still unmarried, something that made tongues wagged in the village. But she didn't care. She would say, Marriage is not an achievement. I am not ready to be anybody's slave. So she kept talking and talking and talking. Then one market day, something strange happened. A young man came to Umudike from the neighboring town of Umueze. His name was Obiajulu, and no one knew much about him except that he was tall, quiet, and handsome. He moved into the compound of the herbalist, Papa Unduka, saying he had come to learn traditional medicine. But the way he carried himself made everyone wonder. He dressed like someone who had traveled far and seen things. The widows whispered, the girls giggled, and Chikamso, well, she noticed him too. But unlike others, she didn't act shy. The first time she saw him, she shouted across the market square, "Hey, fine boy! Who borrowed you those shoulders? Are you a wrestler or a model?" People gasped, but Obiajulu only looked at her calmly and said nothing. That silence shocked Chikamso. For the first time in a long while, someone didn't respond to her loudness. That annoyed her. She followed him from the market that day, throwing jabs and teasing words. "You too proud to talk? Or is it that your mouth is still sleeping?" Still, no response. In the following days, Chikamso became obsessed with getting Obiajulu to talk. She insulted his clothes, she mocked his silence, she made loud jokes anytime he passed. But every time, Obiajulu would just look at her quietly with a strange smile and walk away. Then something odd started to happen. People began to laugh at her. See Chika, she finally met someone who won't answer her. Her mouth has found its master, and that annoyed her even more. She tried harder. She followed him to the stream one morning and shouted, "You dey fetch water or you dey romance the river? Move now! Slow motion." Your mouth is louder than the drums of Ozo Festival, but even those drums must rest. Chikamso blinked. She wasn't used to getting replies, and this one sounded like a proverb. Eh? I said a river that talks too much will dry before reaching the sea. She frowned. You dey speak in parables now. Who are you, sef? Obiajulu looked in her eye. You want to know who I am? You will know soon. And he walked away, still smiling. That day, Chikamso was quiet for the first time. That night, she had a strange dream. In it, she was standing alone in the village square, shouting as usual when a wind blew and stole her voice. She tried to speak, but no sound came out. People laughed and danced around her, but she couldn't speak. She woke up sweating. She sat on her mat, shaking her head. It's just a dream, she said to herself. Nothing can silence me. But deep inside her, something was beginning to change. For the first time in her life, Chikamso was afraid. Not of Obiajulu, not of the village, but of herself. The morning after Chikamso's strange dream, the village of Umudike felt different. The sky was clear, but there was something in the air, something tense, like when a goat knows it's about to be slaughtered. Chikamso woke up early and stepped outside of her hut. She sat on the wooden bench, chewing on a piece of sugar cane, thinking about the boy who spoke in parables, Obiajulu. Who talks like that? She mumbled to herself. A river that talks too much will dry before reaching the sea. What nonsense! But even as she mocked him, her thoughts kept returning to his eyes, calm, unreadable, and deep like an old well. Something about him disturbed her spirit. A few days later, the village prepared for the Ofala festival, a time when the king came out to bless the people, when masquerades danced, drums rolled, and everyone wore their finest clothes. The market was busy. Women cooked jollof rice and pepper soup in large pots. Men swept the palace grounds. Children practiced songs and dances. Chikamso, of course, had a new wrapper sewn, bright red with golden strips. Her hair tie was so high, people said it touched the sky. She walked around like a queen, turning heads as usual. She was determined to show off. But what she didn't know was that Obiajulu was watching her, quietly from a distance. During the festival, Chikamso didn't hold back. She mocked Adobe for gaining weight. Aha! You look like you swallowed a whole yam tuber. She laughed at Okoro, a shy boy dancing offbeat. Eh? Who invited this broken broom to the dance floor? People laughed, but this time the laughter was forced, nervous. Everyone had heard rumors that something strange surrounded Obiajulu. Some said he was not an ordinary man. Others whispered that he was the son of a spirit sent to teach someone a lesson. But Chikamso didn't believe in rumors. When Obiajulu finally walked into the village square, wearing a plain white shirt and trousers, she saw her chance. So even during festivals, Mr. Quiet won't smile, she shouted. Did you swallow a yam, or are you hiding a frog in your mouth? The drums paused for a second, the dancers slowed down, and Obiajulu looked up. His eyes met hers. He raised one hand slowly and pointed to the ground. "Speak one more word, Chikamso," he said calmly, "and the earth will hear you." Chikamso blinked, then she smirked. "Is that a threat or one of your useless riddles?" And then she shouted, "Mouth cannot kill, talk is free." And at that exact moment, thunder cracked, but the sky was blue. The ground beneath her feet shook slightly. Chikamso stumbled, and then her voice vanished. She opened her mouth, nothing. She tried again, silence. Again, not even a whisper. Panic set in, she clutched her throat. People gathered around her, confused. "Chika, talk now, what's wrong?" She waved her hands widely. Her mouth moved, but no sound came out. The girl who once filled the air with noise had become silent. At first, some thought she was playing a joke. Then they realized it was real. Mama Neka, her mother, ran through the crowd. "Chikamso, talk to me, my daughter. What is it?" But Chikamso only shook her head, tears falling from her eyes. She tried to scream, still nothing. Pa Okeke held his head in sorrow. "This girl has talked herself into trouble with the spirits." The villagers turned to Obiajulu, who was now walking away quietly. "Did you do this?" someone asked. Obiajulu stopped and looked back. "I didn't, she did." Then it disappeared into the forest path behind the village and was never seen again. Chikamso's parents took her to every herbalist in the region. They slaughtered goats, they poured libations, they visited shrines and prayer houses. Nothing worked. Her voice was gone, like the wind had carried it into the spirit world. Months passed, people started forgetting the sound of her voice. The boy she used to insult now ignored her. The girl she once mocked now passed her without fear. And Chikamso, she began to write her thoughts in chalk on small slates. But the slates were always filled with apologies. "I am sorry for what I said. I didn't mean it. Please forgive me." One day, she knelt before Mama Ejime, the old woman she once mocked at the market. She held a calabash filled with gifts, palm oil, yam, salt, and bitter kola. She used her slate again. "I laughed at you. I insulted you. I was foolish. Please forgive me." The old woman looked at her, nodded, and said, "Let this silence teach you what words could not." Chikamso wept, not just because she had lost her voice, but because she had finally realized that words can heal and they can also destroy. Years passed, Chikamso stopped chasing her voice. She learned sign language. She helped children with speech problems. She became known as the silent helper. And one quiet evening, while sitting under the mango tree near her father's farm, she heard something, a faint sound, like a whisper. She opened her mouth and said softly, shakily, "Hello?" The sound was dry and broken, but it was hers. She gasped. She tried again. "Hello?" Tears ran down her cheeks. Her voice had returned, not fully, but just enough to speak when needed. But this time, she didn't rush to the village square to shout. She didn't gossip. She didn't insult. She didn't mock. She spoke gently, only when necessary. And so, the girl who once shook the village with her voice became the woman who taught others how to use their words with care. The villagers say, "A sharp tongue can cut deeper than a blade, and a gentle word can build a broken heart." From that day, every child in Umudike was warned. Talk, but do not wound. Speak, but do not destroy, or you might meet your match like Chikamso. Thanks friends for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and please subscribe to Let's Folktales for more videos. Thank you and see you in the next video.